everyone, welcome back to Beach Angel Tarot. I'm going to do a SP reading this evening, and we're going to see what messages come up for everyone from their SP's higher self. So if you'd like your own personal private SP reading, you can follow the information below in the description box, and I will also put a layout. I'll include the layout of the spread down there as well. So that being said, I'm being guided to use this deck for the message from your SP's higher self. So we're going to see what comes out. This one came to mind. I haven't used it for a while. I had to go digging for it over there. I had to go looking. So let's see what they have for us in a way of a message from their higher self. So this is going to be more of like a 5D message. I read it intuitively. Sometimes things get, kind of read between the lines. Other things kind of can come up from it for me as well. So focusing on everyone, law of attraction, the collective energies that are guided to this reading. And there we have our postcard. Let's just take a look at the outside. Celebrate life, it says, and there's a little cherub angel and it says celebrate life right there. So let's give it a read. It says, dearest you have a unique purpose and destiny that only you can fulfill. But first, you need to know that destiny isn't a destination. You don't arrive at some special place where, poof, you're perfect and happy all the time. It's about establishing and firming up a commitment to a certain experience, whatever form that takes. Your soul knows what you need to experience. Your destiny is to be present to all of life's adventures, to discover your talents and full potential through allowing inspiration to lead you, and to risk standing apart from the crowd to listen to your soul. You are special as much as you are also paradoxically one with the world, individual, yet a part of a great whole. Both truths have led you to this moment where we are saying you are on the right track, even if your ego self doesn't see that. Listen to your soul. Check in with the spirit. Keep going. Spirit loves you. Life loves you. And we love you. So they're saying they love you. And I'm going to hold it up here so you can snapshot the screen and read it yourself. And I'm going to kind of like dissect it a little bit here for a minute and pick it apart because there were some things I felt energetically in the words that I want to just go back over. So the first part was, it's about establishing, so this is messages to you from them, from their higher self. And it says it's about establishing and firming up a commitment to a certain experience, whatever form that takes. So I feel like they're saying in that sentence, there's something in the regards to the connection to not just a need to establish a commitment and firm up a commitment, but that it is being established. The commitment between the two of you is starting to be established. A commitment between you is starting to be established. And it says whatever form that takes. So it may not look like what you think it looks like or should look like at this time, but there's some sort of, even if nothing's happening between you, there's something that is happening energetically, establishing and firming up a commitment. So something's being built on, a foundation is being built here. And you are special as much as you are also paradoxically one with the world, individual, and yet a great part of the whole. So both truths have led you to this moment where we are saying you are on the right track, even if your ego self doesn't see that. So they're saying you're on the right track, and there is some sort of energetic or something being established. It's like a firm foundation in regards. So something's being built. There's a base there's a base level kind of energy being built between the two of you. Now this may not be like like a proposal or a marriage proposal or engagement. This has more to do with an understanding, with air quotes, the way I'm feeling it. But there's some sort of established commitment that is being created at this time, or they're working on that. They want you to see things as a progression, not, like enjoy the progression of the journey, not just keep focusing on the end result. And they want you to know energetically something like the ground is being laid out or prepared in regards to this commitment energy. And they're wanting you to know you're on the right track, even if your ego self doesn't see that. So like I said, the part about laying the groundwork for the commitment, your ego may not see that. It may not understand what's happening energetically between the two of you. But there is a foundation being built for the connection. They want you to listen to your soul. Your ego doesn't know, or may feel like you're off track because you might not be seeing things the way you think they should be by now, or that they would naturally unfold for other people. And they're saying, Spirit loves you, life loves you, we love you. So they love you. Unique purpose and destiny. So that is the message from their higher self, but it has to do with this energetic commitment, establishing this commitment. And so that's what's happening right now in the, energetic realm of the connection. We're going to see what blessing this person is going to send your way between now and, Valentine's Day is coming up very quick, so I'm not going to put a Valentine's Day. I'm going to put like a St. Patrick's Day. We're going to move further out so we have time for this blessing to unfold. Their higher self is going to send blessing energy to you. What is it that they will be sending your way by I'm going to keep saying Valentine's Day. So the two that fell out, a blessing for a fresh start and a blessing for good work. I think that's a Fisher King bird up there. And bird energy's been around me a good bit lately as well. Feathers and birds and all that. Oh, there's a bird in this one too. So the blessing that's coming. Oh, again, they're saying that good work is this energetic foundation, this firming up a commitment and a certain experience. Establishing and firming up a commitment. I say foundation. It feels more like a platform is the word once it comes. Kind of seeing it like that. So there is a new level. It's like as if you were building a building and you have new floors, right? You're just kind of moving to the next floor. So there is something new being built upon. That's the energy of this good work. But this can also be a fresh start for you in your work. So like on a logical 3D experience day to day, if there's something with your work, they're sending that energy to you. So you're going to get fresh energy with your 9 to 5 or your spiritual work, what have you. So yes, that's a message. It can very well be something that's coming. And another message that's coming has to do with that message that came from this card about that energetic commitment. They're showing it to me as like another floor level that's being built to, like a rise up, but it is fresh. There's a freshness energy, and we are in winter here, so I feel like in the winter season, this is happening. 18 and 34. So that is the blessing that's coming. So there's like two, like a 3D and a 5D blessing being shown there in regards to it. So yes, can be for your work, but it's also a new floor, a new level in the connection, in the way of firming up and establishing commitment. So the first one is what your SP is thinking in regards to the connection. And I think I'm just going to shuffle for each one. What your person is thinking in regards to the connection. What your person is thinking. And these two want to come out. So we have abandoned and destruction. So they feel like this person has abandoned you. I feel like they're feeling the weight of the destruction that caused. And I also feel like they want to destruct any abandonment energy in the connection, like feeling like they dropped you or you dropped them, or not being able to keep a consistent contact would, bring up that abandonment trigger or wound. So they're thinking about this. So they're thinking about if it resonates for you, if this is something that you feel they've done to you in the past, maybe ghosted or abandoned you, they're thinking about the devastation, the destruction that it may have caused the connection, and the repercussions of that. And also in the same term, I feel like they want to bring about destruction of this energy, of this happening over and over, or again in the future, or having to experience it or to create it. They want to, like, a pattern. If there's been a pattern of their behavior, they want to let that go. If it's been a pattern in your behavior, they want to destruct that pattern of abandonment. So this is heavily on their mind. But I also think for some, the fact that they've caused that issue, they're realizing it has maybe caused some damage, right, to the structure. Again, energetic foundation, right, of the connection. So that's what they're thinking right now. So how your SP is viewing you. So how SP is viewing you at this time. And we have this one, and we have understanding. And I'm going to pull another one. And we have recognition. So wow, there's a big how they're viewing you. I feel like, one, they're understanding and recognizing you, or someone important in their life, someone that they have a deep connection to, maybe mind to mind, right? We have their heads together, their thoughts, kind of seeing things in the same way. And in the same turn, they could be seeing that you, or viewing you that way with them, like maybe knowing and understanding that you recognize there's a mutual is the word. There's a mutual recognition of each other, and I feel like they're coming more into an understanding of this knowing, if you will. When we recognize something, we acknowledge it, we understand it, we know it, right? So they're seeing that within you, and they're feeling it. They're feeling that for you, but as in how they're viewing you, there's also that feeling that perhaps you are also understanding and recognizing that connection with them as well. So there's a mutuality to this understanding, the connection, and recognizing each other. How they think you are thinking about them. And we have union. Very interesting. Same kind of silhouette of the moon, right? There's a moon energy in both of these. So how they feel, how they think you are thinking about them. Twin flame union. Wow, that's pretty strong. So there is a definite understanding and recognition when they think of you, or how they're viewing you. I feel very strong. And it could be why this destruction of abandonment has come up so heavily in the beginning of it. And again, I feel like an understanding of the damage that it can do or has done. But I also feel like an understanding of why, perhaps, like this would indicate to me, like, if they don't have the terms of union and twin flame, that they do understand the velocities, words that are coming, of the connection, the deep spirituality within it, and perhaps the reasons for it, and an acceptance of the connection being of, I'm trying to like formulate words of the download I'm getting, the connection being a vehicle for destruction of patterns, wounds, which is this. These all feel very tied. Like this feels like it's going backwards and kind of tied to that. Like this is the velocity of the connection, the spiritual component of it. The intensity is the word that is needed to bring about change. Because if it was just a soulmate relationship, not that they're not important, but there are degrees of spiritual components and importance to connections, right? And I feel like they're really understanding that velocity, that depth of the energy was needed to bring about this destruction of this wound. And so there's like a putting the pieces of the puzzle together. So that is a very interesting, deep revealing there, I feel, to those that are watching, that this connection is being felt by them on very deep levels, whether consciously or unconsciously. But this is how they think you are thinking about them. However, I feel because of this particular, how they're viewing you, they are seeing there's a mutuality there. So it's like, that's how they think you think of them, but it's also how there's a mirroring coming up, how they are seeing it as well. So because you have your minds together, there is I think it's on both of these too, like there's a connection, like they're, each one of these, the couple, they're intertwined, like they're joined, right? They're connecting here, they're connecting here, and they're connecting here. So the thoughts are, it's like, there's a joining of thoughts and energies on each one of these pictures. So there is a mirroring effect happening here. So this is like them to you and you to them coming up. So they think you're thinking that they're twin flame and wanting union, and that is the same, but it's because of this understanding and depth of knowing, the importance, the spiritual importance within it, rather deep. Okay, so let's see what this person is feeling for you. This ought to be interesting because we see a lot of spiritual understanding, knowing, and a coming together of minds. There may be a lot of telepathy or telepathic energy happening right now between you and this person. This person is feeling for you. Feeling for you at this time, because remember, this is and we have healing. Healing is something that they're feeling for you. And I see Kundalini energy with the chakras, and I see chakra alignment. These two wanted to come out too. And we have pride and ego and mute. So I do feel this person feeling for you is, there could be separation, there could be silence. If there's not total silence, there could be things that aren't being said because pride and ego. They may feel like you're in your pride and ego, so they can't speak like they want to. Maybe they feel you're pushing them away. There's abandonment energies coming up here, or perhaps vice versa. Again, it could be just a reflection of each other. That, periods of silence or not saying what is deeply felt, as we can see is showing in the cards, are coming up as they're saying this person's acknowledging. So they're really breaking down. I'm seeing like the ego, like in bits and pieces, like Tetris. So not that it's being destroyed, or eliminated, because you can't do that. You can't completely eradicate the ego, but there's a understanding and a picking apart of character or the person's personality. They're really recognizing ego. So it's like this is kind of showing me like an egoic shell, and they're really seeing. They're able to see and detect egoic behaviors, which means then they can also detect spiritual energies behind things. So they know what is being done by spirit, and they know what's being done by ego. And I feel like in the past they weren't able to kind of suss it out or know, but on some energetic level they are very aware of ego and pride and ego, creating silences, muting out things that need to be communicated, or creating separation and periods of silence, or not talking or whatever. So this is something this person is feeling for you, but I also feel like they're also feeling healing coming from you as well. So this would represent knowing of the ego, but also knowing of the spiritual side. So it's kind of showing it both in both of these three of these cards, because this was really one message and this was another. So this is the spiritual component. Everything's lined up, the chakra alignment, the awareness, the crown chakra being open and connected to source, everything kind of lining up and lit up. So there is a knowingness coming in, an alignment with spirit, in regards to them and their connection to you. I think the opening message even talked about, I'm going to go back here for some reason, and I think this is starting to say special. Okay, yes, you are special as much as you are also paradoxically one with the world, individual yet part of a great whole. So your individuality is the part that holds the ego. So they're very keen on being able to differentiate the egoic shell characteristic of you versus your spiritual side. So they're coming into a more spiritually aligned understanding of who you are, in that standing in that great whole, if you will, in the regards to this message. And also seeing your egoic individual side, and maybe perhaps the damage it can do, or the damage that has been dealt, due to egoic wounds. Those triggers and whatnot are coming from the ego. So they've been battered and tattered or whatever from youth or whatever, however that comes. So they're really seeing this and that, right? They're seeing that energy, but they're also seeing that 5D, the healing, and they're seeing that egoic pride and ego. So there's an understanding here, for how this is how they feel for you. So it's not a personal romantic. This is not like a reading where spirit is going, okay, or their spirit is saying, okay, there's a mushy, 3D message for you. No, there's a spiritual, their spirit, their higher self is showing and telling us that they are coming into an understanding of what's going on. They're starting to see and become aware of the difference between your connection in 5D and the higher realms, and the spiritual realization of why it's occurring and what it is having an effect on patterns, right? And triggers and wounds from the past. And they're seeing your spiritual higher self, and they're seeing your 3D self, and they're becoming aware of it, and perhaps holding more understanding and grace for these times where this is, when we see a peacock kind of throw its feathers out, right? It's that when you kind of do that, they're more understanding of, and peacock has like little eyes, so they can kind of see clearly, this display of like, maybe like when you put a wall up or when they put a wall up, they're understanding both of you guys' egoic selves and how it can create times of silence. But then on this other hand, I feel like they're really recognizing perhaps even the need for that silence at those times, and taking advantage of the healing that occurs within them. So it's rather interesting. So their higher self is really showing you a higher understanding coming down to and through them, in the 3D. So I like seeing that too. So this is a very powerful message. So let's see, if this person could have one wish with you and this connection, what would it be? If this person could have one wish with you in this connection right now, what would it be? If they could have a wish fulfilled with you right now, what would it be? And we have bound. Wow, it came out. Undercurrent there. They wanted me to look. I haven't been looking at the undercurrent so much, and it's communication is coming out. I'm going to pull another one. So I feel like they want to communicate. The devil energy is also giving me a bit of sexual energy, of course, and we have self-worth is coming up. Undercurrent there is commitment. So I am going to kind of I had one wish for you at this time. I feel like there's a bit of physical, they'd like to have physical contact. They would like to have communication. And they may want to express themselves in a physical and intimate way. The devil card isn't the healthiest. I don't feel it is like extremely bad, but there may be a bit of unhealthy egoic energy in regards to this. But there's also this self-worth and commitment. I feel like they want to have a responsible commitment, so I feel like this, like, again, it's the higher and the lower realm energies, just like we saw before in the last one. It's like a bit of both. They want to have the earthly experience with you, right? They want to communicate and express between the two of you physically, and they want to commit and be with you in a healthy spiritual way, right? The self-worth would be that, that higher realm kind of energy coming up here, and they want to commit to that as well. So they want, but then they want to kind of roll it all together. So they want you to experience this along with this. They want to, when it says self-respect, your energies together would also be respecting you as well as themselves. So there is a huge sense of growth and responsibility in this self-worth in regards to the commitment. So they want to come together, but they want this all wrapped up into one. So they want to be able to express themselves physically, but have that higher component to it and be respectful of you in regards to it. So there's a very beautiful balancing and knowing, understanding coming up here again. So it's just like a follow through of the last message where they were seeing the egoic self and the higher self, and being able to differentiate between the two. And it's showing it here again. It's like, hey, I understand it can't all be this, and it can't be this without that. Everything has to come in a balance, right? So there's this want for a higher commitment with that self-worth and commitment to me. So what is next in this connection? What will they do? What will happen next? So let's see. What will happen next in this commitment? So I'm going to say like next 30 days, right? So from now to the next SP. But this one is very good messages. And we have summer. And I'm going to look at the undercurrent there. And I think I'm going to pull one more. Masculine, divine masculine and summer. So I don't think it's going to be all the way to summer. But I definitely feel like this is a card of warmth, positivity. This star is bigger than those shells. So there is a sense of divine guidance, being guided by that star energy, by the sun, by the warmth. So there is a positive alignment and following the cues from spirit for the masculine in regards. And we have inner child. And the bottom of that is conclusion. So I feel like this ties back to the big abandonment in the front and the destruction. So I feel like there's going to be and the sun, look, the sun is coming out. This child's looking at the sun and the summer there. So I definitely feel like masculine energy could be concluding an inner child, a pattern of inner child wounding, bringing more warmth and positivity to it, following divine guidance in regards to it. There is that higher realm energy coming to me from the starfish, like seeing and being guided by their higher selves in regards to healing this inner child wounding, which can create and cause this, destruction of the abandonment and the destruction it can create. But they're also going to do the work and conclude and break that pattern of abandonment, right? Because wounded people wound people. And so when they break that and heal that within themselves, and they're no longer repeating patterns that cause that destruction and have that fallout come on to you, right? Or whoever their partner is. So there is a conclusion coming up. Interesting key is coming. out here. The skeleton key seems important to me. But so over the next 30 days, you're going to see, obviously this to me just talks about maturity, becoming more mature. And there's a lot of awakened energy coming up in this reading, not just for them, but for yourself, because like I said, I pointed out your heads are together, both are connected, right? And so there's a lot of mirroring of thoughts and things that are going on. So your energy and their energy is intertwined, and this is happening not just for them but for you. So I feel like a lot of maturing energetically, and you may see the effects of that coming from your masculine, or this person, let's put it that way, or you may not, but this is energetically what's happening, because I'm seeing a lot of energy being shown to us from their higher selves of healing and understanding and knowing what's happening, and being able to kind of really see and detect psychically, perhaps, or even on maybe a conscious level, egoic self, spiritual self, and a kind of a breakdown. It's kind of like showing me cracking an egg and pulling the shell away would be the ego, and then the inside of the egg would be the spiritual, right? So there's like this breaking apart, but again, we're not completely eradicating the ego. We're just really being able to differentiate this part from that part and seeing the difference, right? And doing that, it's like being able to have more control over it. So there is a period of energetic healing and creation of destruction of patterns that can be destructive, of abandonment. So I love seeing that. So beautiful messages for everyone. If you, again, want your own personal private reading, you can follow the information below. If not, I will probably be back maybe doing a Valentine reading. And if not, I will be soon doing my Vampire Lovers next episode, which is going to be late February, early March, I think. So stay tuned for those as well, for relationship readings. Angel blessings to everyone. Oceans of love.